I learned from my mistakes and my failures, and one would be to keep your overhead low. Grow slowly. Be very mindful of growing. I think that our industry has an illusion of sexiness when we're expanding and adding more providers and buying new technology. My experience is you have to have a demand for sure for whatever you want to bring in. So test your audience through emails, through surveys, before purchasing, making big purchases, whether it's skincare line or laser, new service, is actually having people buy in first.
So we're having a conversation about being a med spa owner.
Yeah.
How long have you been a med spa owner? And just give us high level the start of your story in owning a med spa.
Okay. Well, let's start with I've been in the industry for almost 25 years. I was a
Wow.
dermatology PA when Botox first came out on the market. I worked for 2 large practices for 10 years. And after 10 years, just felt like I wanted to have my own medical practice. So at the time, med spas weren't really a thing. I opened up my dermatology practice 13 years ago and was always doing aesthetics. And at COVID is when I decided I didn't want to do dermatology any longer, specifically because it gave me a moment to sit down and look at my finances and all my stress. And I said, oh my
Is this
gosh, it
worth
was
it?
such a struggle running
Yeah.
a derm practice with the high cost of having to have so much staff. And coincidentally, aesthetics was growing. It was booming during COVID. So
So real quick, before you decided to go aesthetics full time, was aesthetics part of your service?
always, yes,
Yeah.
I've
So
always,
how much was aesthetics part of your dermatology service?
before COVID, because it was actually a dermatology practice, we were probably doing about 80% medical derm, 20% aesthetics. And that included doing all injectables,
Okay.
neurotoxins, laser hair removal.
Was
Um,
Mohs surgery part of your dermatology at all? Like how much cancer
Yeah, a
was?
lot. I mean, we saw a lot of, and I'm a physician assistant, and
Oh, okay.
so I hired a dermatologist to our practice.
Okay.
So I would refer my Mohs to him. But myself, I was contracted with insurance companies and doing excisions for, basal cells, squamous
Mm,
cells,
mm,
anything that was out of my scope of practice, I would
mm.
refer out. But all that really requires a lot of staffing.
Hmm.
And I decided that I couldn't do it anymore. I was working to keep the doors open.
Wow. Wow. And
Um,
then COVID hits, and we all collectively sat back and we were like, let's take an assessment in our life. Do I want to do what I'm doing? What's worth it?
Totally. You kind of get in the habit of what you know. And I
Yeah.
was a dermatology PA for so long that I just knew to do dermatology. And COVID I had a pause and realized I just can't do that anymore. And I was already kind of growing my aesthetic practice to a point where I'm like, it could maintain my
Mm,
practice.
mm.
I was at that time a trainer as well and seeing a little momentum with that. So, COVID, I completely canceled, sent out emails and letters to all my derm patients,
Wow.
but we grew. So I took a leap of faith and it worked in our favor.
Pretty quickly? How long did it
Yeah,
take for you to realize the trajectory was?
2000 was hard. It's a hard
Yeah.
year
Yeah.
to answer that because a lot of us were closed down or limited. It was a strange time. We were wearing masks. Um, Definitely, I think as an industry in aesthetics, we all saw a boom from 2000 to
Mm, yeah.
2022, and half of 2023,
Got it.
um, and then shifting after 2024.
And you mentioned this is in Southern California?
Yeah, I'm in Orange County, California,
Hey, oh.
specifically Mission Viejo.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. And you were there this whole time?
So I was in a city called Ladera Ranch,
Okay.
which is only a few miles away from Mission Viejo.
Okay.
Probably bigger city names would be, San Clemente,
Yeah.
Laguna Beach. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of near Newport in that area.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Love that. Okay. So if you can give me just like your top lessons learned as a med spa owner
Yeah.
now, after COVID, coming out of everything, like what are the key factors of success owning a med spa?
I have this conversation often. I learn from my mistakes and my failures, and
Yeah.
one would be to keep your overhead low.
Mm,
Grow slowly. Be very mindful of growing. I think that this our industry has an illusion of sexiness when we're expanding and adding more providers and buying new technology. My experience is you have to have a demand for sure for whatever you want to bring in. So test your audience through emails, through surveys. Before purchasing, making big purchases, whether it's skincare line or a laser, new service, is actually having people buy in first. So I guess, to answer your question, top three is just growing slowly, keeping your overhead really low, and then having an email list is very important.
Okay.
Yeah, growing.
Developing that email
You have
list.
to have your email list. Yeah.
Oh,
And
awesome.
social media presence is really important.
Yeah. I love that, that you said, like, the slow and steady wins the race.
Yes.
Especially in the industry, right? There's so much, like, chaos, like
That's a great
excitement,
word for it. It
right?
feels like chaos.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
past year, I think
yeah,
we've all felt that in the industry for sure.
yeah. Wow. I love that. Well, so Linda Rank and your med spa in Mission Viejo is
Mission Viejo, we're soul&beautyMEDx.
soul&beautyMEDx.
Yes.
Nice. And how? Tell me a little bit about the team, the providers, the admin staff.
Yeah. Well, my husband's our medical director.
Okay.
He's formerly an emergency room physician.
Nice.
There's a little story with this too. We brought on hormones, integrative, and regenerative medicine 8 to almost 9 years ago.
Wow.
And we failed terribly because no one knew what
Was ready. The market wasn't ready for it.
the marketing that people didn't understand the concept of
Yeah.
preventative health and well-being.
You guys are just ahead of your time, just a little ahead of the time.
I have a lot of stories for you, Kevin. So now he's back in our practice full time, offering hormones and regenerative medicine.
Now that people are ready to start pursuing that.
Thank goodness. Yes,
Awesome.
and we have a nurse who does our lasers and
Okay.
also injectables. We have an
Okay.
esthetician who also offers hydrofacial and chemical peels and skincare. And then I'm still in the office full time. Yeah,
Nice.
living the life as an injector.
Love it. Growing slow, but steady.
Yeah. I mean, we grew rapidly, and then I took my foot off the pedal,
Got it.
and now we're just really grounding in our foundation with our systems and processes.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, wonderful. Again, thank you so much for your story,
Thank you,
taking
Kevin.
the time. And looking forward to checking out the practice.
Awesome.